Your wound is incurable. Your injury beyond healing. Oh! There is no one to plead your cause, no remedy for your sore. Oh! I have struck you as an enemy would and punished you as would the cruel, because your guilt is so great and your sins so many. Get back!
I'm a man of passion. You don't know what that means unless you're my kind. At the orphanage where they put me just before Garfield was assassinated, there were some older boys that caught a horse in a sloping field. They got the horse up against the fence down at the bottom of the field and tied him up. An old horse. They put kerosene on his tail and lit it and cut the rope. Away went that old horse, busting through fences to get away from the fire. But the fire went with him. That horse, that's me. That's the man of passion. The fire chases you and catches you, and then it's in your blood. And after that, it's the fire that has control, not the man. Blame the fire of passion for what Albert H. Fish has done.
Pardon me, ladies. Is there a Mrs. Carlson in residence?
Up the stairs.
Thank you.
Well, anyway.
Hi, mister.
Hey there.
Where's the doctor?
Afternoon. Hi. I'm looking for Albert Fish's room.
Of course. I left a message you called, but he hasn't been back in a couple of days. Here, you can wait in his room. Lord knows that man keeps odd hours. There.
Thank you. Pop?
What are you doing then?
I just dropped the mail.
That's my mail. Keep away from it.
No, I was, just looking to see if John wrote to me. He said he was...
He did not.
Oh,
I was not expecting you.
that job finished early.
They let you go. They fired you.
No!
You shiftless, good-for-nothing. What am I to do with you? I suppose you need a place to stay, huh?
If it's a problem, I can stay with Anna or Gertie, but I was hoping you could get me some work. I could sure use it.
There's a cot in the closet. You can sleep out here. Is that you, Timmy?
No.
How's my favorite boy today?
Fine.
I was looking forward to seeing you because I brought some of the taffy you like so much. Would you care for some? Well, come on over here. I don't want to put paint all over the floor. Here. This one. And I'm going to take a break to teach you a little sea ditty about the perils of going to sea.
Come along, Timmy.
Hey, take this one for after lunch, huh? Morning, Mom.
You're doing a nice job, Mr. Fish. It almost looks brand new.
Thank you. Oh, Mrs. Carlson, have you given any thought to what we talked about the other day? What with me taking little Timmy out to the pictures some afternoon this week?
Well, I don't know, Mr. Fish. It's kind of you to offer,
I'm not
but...
kind, Mrs. Carlson. It's a selfish thing, really. You see, it's such a rare occasion that I get to see my own grandchildren. And I just love children. You understand? Thank you kindly.
Is this it? No potatoes?
That's the way I like it. You'll eat it the same way.
It's not even cooked.
And finish your plate. Easter Sunday in a godless world.
I'd been waiting since dawn, unsure what to do. A man I once knew said he owed me his life. That's some debt. So he pulled some strings, got me back on the job with a promotion, no less. How could I tell him I didn't want his job? That I couldn't be chained to a desk? Well, I couldn't. But I swore to myself I wouldn't be stuck here for long.
Come on in.
Morning, Captain. I'm Will King.
You're early. Sit down. I'd prefer that you didn't.
Sure.
Quite a reputation you got around here.
Hard to avoid in our line of work. But then you know that, Captain.
You sell yourself short. Your file here reads like a Dumas novel. Of course, I never really was a big fan of Dumas. I always preferred more intellectual fare.
I think maybe you got the wrong idea about me.
I hope so. You know, if I could, I wouldn't hesitate. Transfer you out of here. You see, I created this department. And despite what you may have heard, we do good work here, important work. And I need good men to keep on doing it. Tenacious men, men who absolutely refuse to give up. Frankly, I don't think you're that kind of man.
You don't know anything about me.
I know that you left the force against direct orders. You got back on with a promotion, no less, with the help of your friends upstairs. And you haven't been able to stick to anything in your life. I think I know enough.
You know, for what it's worth, I don't believe everything I read or hear. So I won't hold my breath waiting to see if you're as fair-minded and reasonable as they say you are.
King. Sit down. We might get on better than I thought.
And he was right. We did get along. The problem was, we weren't the only two in the department.
Morning, gentlemen. Meet Will King. Will, your desk right here.
Sir. Fellas?
Ah, the new boy in school. We was wondering when you're gonna start. Jimmy Carr here. Nice to meet you.
Likewise.
Okay, boys. Let's get Detective King here up to speed on our cases. And show him how we do things around here.
It is you. I thought you were dead.
So absence does make the heart grow fonder. Long time, Maher. Congratulations on your promotion.
Thanks. I earned it.
All right, listen up, everybody. Will's been taking some advanced courses at Columbia in criminology and fingerprint analysis, and he has been gracious enough to share some of what he's learned with us. I'm going to be posting the times on the board. In the meantime, Will, I want you to work with Frank here on this Jane Doe.
That's all right, Captain. It's covered.
The evidence he gathered is clean. Need your help with the print analysis.
He's a regular Goodwill ambassador. Do you mind?
What? Does working through lunch mean I can't eat?
You see this irregular ridge here? It's the same as that one. Here's your Jane Doe. Take a look.
You say this is the future of detective work. I mean, they all look the same. I mean, how you can sit here pouring over thousands of prints is beyond me. Send me straight to the loony bin. I need to see a human face. Give me the simplest description, and I'll find him. Or her, as the case may be.
Not me. It's too unreliable. Percentage of error is too great. Plus, people lie. Or forget. Fingerprints don't.
Mom. Look at me. I'm Christ. I'm Christ. Take me in your arms. They want to crucify me. Gertrude?
Hello.
No kiss for your papa?
Oh.
Well, looky here. Who could this be?
It's my little Gloria.
My very own granddaughter?
Would you like to hold her?
Here. I'm no good with little ones. Take her, Mother.
Oh, sure you are.
Almost forgot. John's check has arrived. Put it in your purse.
It's $25. That's John's whole check. I can't take all of it.
I want you to have it.
Please. Take half. Please.
No, it's for you. And for little Gloria. Dear Mrs. Carlson, we had a bargain. You promised that I could take your boy Timmy to the pictures. Why didn't you keep your promise? I should have known that you were like the rest of them. I hoped against it. But you're a woman. A useless, good-for-nothing cunt. You don't know how to raise your child. God help him when he finds out what a bitch of a mother he has.
Shame on you, Mr. Fish. Shame on you. Where is he? How dare he say these sinful things to me? And he calls himself a church-going man. I want him out. Both of you, out!
Wait, Mrs. Carlson, wait, stop. What happened?
This filth that your father wrote to me.
Oh.
You knew about it?
No.
What?
He doesn't mean anything by it.
I see. So he has done this before.
It's like a sickness with him.
Well, shame on you.
I didn't do anything wrong, Mrs. Carlson. I would never write a dirty letter to you.
But you let him! You make me sick. Both of you. Leave immediately, or I'll call the police. Immediately.
Pop. Why in God's name do you keep doing these things to people? You had to know we'd get kicked out again. I'm beginning to think you actually need it, the way normal people need air or water. I don't want to get tangled up in your messes anymore. You'll find me at Gertie's.
Kindly give this letter to my daughter Gertrude, so that she knows where to find us. I curse you, rotten old cow. I'd rip your heart out if you had one. You're cursed for the rest of your days.
Get out of here. Get out of here now! Do you hear me? Before I call the police!
Mr. Fish, are we going to the pictures?
Timmy!
Holy Moses, Gertie.
Help me, Albert, would you please?
What is all this?
Thank you. I just thought it would be nice if we had a real family supper for a change.
Whole chicken, peas, real cream, butter? Jeez, Gertie, how can you afford all this?
Don't worry about it. Let's just enjoy it.
Oh, baby, we're gonna feast tonight. It's too bad your pops ain't here to share it with us.
Oh. Pop gave you money.
A little.
He's given us a couple of John's checks.
And to help us out was a little Gloria. And you.
Me, right?
Yes, you. He knows you're staying with us. And we have all these extra mouths to feed.
Believe me, Pop didn't give you any money to help me out. If anything, he gave it to you in spite of the fact that I'm staying with you. Pop would never do anything to help me out.
Albert, why do you always think the worst of everybody? He has helped you find work and just let you stay with him.
You know, I practically had to beg him. I don't even know why I bother. Every time he has hired me, I end up doing all the work while he loafs around doing God knows what.
You are so hard on him.
Listen, Gertie, I'm not mad. He gives you money sometimes, does nice things for you. You're his favorite. I don't blame him. I just don't understand why he does it for Anna and Henry and Edward and John and never for me, ever.
Oh, Albert, that's not true. He loves all of us just the same.
Isn't it always the favored child who says that? They love us all the same. That's a stupid thing to say. You can't love different people the same way, Gertie. You just can't. Mama knew that.
What does that mean?
It means Mama knew in her heart. She knew Pop was... Why do we always come back to this?
Just say it.
No, forget it. I'm sorry. I'm just tired.
Now, come on, let's just forget it and start supper.
Albert, she left us when we were just babies. And Pop took care of all 6 of us, all alone. Why can't you give him some credit for that?
Because he's sick, Gertie. There's something wrong with him.
Of course there is. Look at everything that's happened to him in his life.
Jesus Christ, Gertie. You can't always look at what happens to people. Sometimes you have to look at them. How they act, what they do.
Then look at what you've done. You broke his heart when you went to stay with Mama and that man after she left us. Maybe that's why he's so tough on you.
Honey, come on.
Gertrude!
Is it true?
We got him. Finishing the report now.
That's Jake. Congratulations. Really?
Thanks.
Hey, fellas, what do you say? King here just solved the oldest case on our books. I say we take Ace here out on the town.
Hey, thanks. But I don't drink on
No
duty.
speakeasies for King, Jimmy. Don't you know they're illegal?
No buts, Ace. This is the first reason we've had in a long time to celebrate anything. And I know the perfect little spot. Prohibition be damned.
No thanks, Jimmy.
I'll take it, Jimmy. You're a teetotaler now, King. I remember when you couldn't get enough.
I just know my limit.
What's that supposed to mean?
Now, this here's a celebration, fellas. To Ace. On a job well done.
Hard as I tried to change it, Ace stuck. After a while, the only one who minded it was Maher.
There they are. See? I have to go now. My friends want me there. Hey! Oh, hi, Francis!
Where he went. You were playing together all afternoon.
I don't know. Mama Francis told me to go back home.
When? Ronald, when did he tell you that?
When he was talking to that man.
Man? What man? What man was Francis talking to?
The great man.
I don't want any more kids lost. Does everyone have a partner?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You keep an eye on each other. Don't lose sight, not for 1 minute, of your partner while you look for your friend Francis. If this is a single murderer, then he's in his prime. I mean, look at the lacerations, look at the bruising. Whoever committed this atrocity on this boy, he's as strong as an ox. So if you're telling me an old man is involved, he had help.
Camford Local to Grand Central. Ticket. Tickets, ma'am. Thank you. Ticket. Ticket, please. Ticket. Camford Local.
Yes? Can I help you?
Edward Budd, does he live here?
He does?
It's about the advertisement that he placed.
Oh, yes. He's not here right now.
I have an offer I'd like to talk to him about. I live on a farm over on Long Island.
Well, I'm Edward's mother. And you are?
Howard. Frank Howard.
Won't you come in, Mr. Howard? Grace? Edward's just next door.
Yes, Mama?
Run on the wings and get your brother.
Your name is Grace? You remind me of my granddaughter. Here. Thank you for being such a good little girl, Grace.
Thank Mr. Howard, Gracie.
Thank you.
Please, sit down. Excuse the mess. Some expecting visitors. Would you like a glass of lemonade, Mr. Howard?
Why, thank you, Mom. You're much bigger than I expected, my boy.
What did you expect? It's not bad, is it?
Oh, no. No. I mean, it's good. I can assure you strong hands.
Is it all right if I get my friend Willie? He's just next door. We plan to do this together.
Well, hadn't really planned for two. Bring him over and we'll see. You must be Willie.
Yes, sir. Pleased to meet you, sir.
Willie, this is Mr. Howard. I'm to provide you boys with jobs.
Pleased to meet you too, Willie.
Mr. Howard has a farm out on the island.
That's right, I do. And I do need the help.
I mean, it's what we wanted, right, Willie?
Right, of course.
Good. You You'll do fine, boys. What do you say I come for you over the weekend?
Sounds fine. Sunday after church.
Fine instrument. Notice the serrated edges. That's solid construction. You could cut through anything with this saw. Yes, sir. I'll wrap it up for you. It's only $350. Good bargain. There you go. Thanks very much. Use it well.
That's nice.
Sure you got that, Pop?
I'm fine. On second thought, could you hold this for me for an hour or so?
No problem. It'll be here.
Thanks. You must be Mr. Budd. Pleasure to shake your hand, sir. I apologize again for the delay. I hope my telegram got to you in time.
Oh, it did indeed. It was very exciting for Edward. He's never received his very own telegram before. Please, Mr. Howard, take a seat.
Those first heady days of spring, murderously hot, really.
Was the delay you mentioned in your telegram serious?
Just business. And for you, I brought these from the farm. I trust you can use them.
Well, yes, thank you.
Are the boys ready to go?
They've been ready for over a week. Never seen them so excited. Oh, we were hoping you'd stay to lunch first. Grace, come say hello to Mr. Howard. He's taking Edward and Willie to work on his farm.
Pleased to see you again, Mr. Howard.
I'm so very pleased to see you, Grace. Have a taste. I brought them just for you.
Can I, Mama?
Well, you'll have to wait for lunch, Grace. Are you going to be able to stay, Mr. Howard?
What do you say, Grace? Can I stay? Who could say no to that face? Now, why don't you show me what a big girl you are and count this money for me? I could use a clever accountant. Would you do that for me, Grace? It's kind of you to offer me lunch, but I have a commitment this afternoon. I can't stay very long. I promised I would attend a birthday party for my niece at my sister's house. I thought I would go to the party and come back and pick up the boys later.
$92.50.
Grace, the way you look, you should be going with me. I don't think any of the boys and girls at the party will look half as nice as you. Say, that's not a bad idea. Maybe Grace should accompany me. And afterwards, on the way back, when I drop her off, I'll pick up the boys.
Oh, I don't know. It's a very kind offer.
Here. Take 50 cents and go and buy some candy for the birthday girl. And take some for you.
Is it all right, Mama?
Well, we'll see about the party. Well, you can go and get some candy. But don't eat it until after lunch. Where is this birthday party, Mr. Howard?
On Columbus at 135th. She has a very nice home. And my nephews and nieces are just about Grace's age.
I don't know. Yeah, we have no presents, and I wouldn't know what Grace would bring as a gift to the host, and...
I just thought of it as a way to thank you for that. Eddie, my boy, we won't be going till later this afternoon. I want to take in a picture in the meantime.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Howard.
Why don't we let Grace go? She's cooped up here in the cellar all week long. It'd be fun for her.
All right. She may go.
Good. Let's eat. I'm starved.
Me too.
Now, you promise me you'll be good for Mr. Howard, Grace. Now, don't eat too much. You'll get sick. Oh, be nice to the other boys and girls. And don't forget to thank Mr. Howard's sister for having you.
All right, Mama. Bye, Mama.
Okay. You have a good time. I'll see you this afternoon.
Hey, Pop. There you go.
A mirror, please.
Well, let me get your change.
Keep the change.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Peanuts for the journey.
Good day.
Grace?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Two transfers to Van Cortlandt Park on the Putnam. One one-way and one round trip to Worthington on the Central.
One way and one round trip to Worthington?
That's it.
Ah, interesting.
How much is that?
$1.10 total. 10, 10, 30, and 60. And change of the two. There we go.
Thank you. Here, hold our tickets, Grace. Grace! Oh, Grace. For 1 second, I thought I had lost you.
What are those?
Lilies. Those are lilies.
How beautiful they smell.
There are so many more flowers at my sister's. And you can pick as many as you want. Let's go.
Mr. Howard! Your package. Your present for the little girl. Here.
Oh, Grace. What would I do without you?
I'm gonna give these to the birthday girl. No present could be better, could it, Mr. Howard?
You're so right, Grace. Oh, Grace. Don't come on up until I call you for the surprise. Shh. Grace! Hurry on up! We're hiding from the birthday girl.
th Street Precinct, please. Do you have any reports of an accident involving a young girl and an older man? She's wearing a white dress, a confirmation dress. No? None at all? Yes. Thank you.
Oh, Will. Good. Come on in. Have a seat. You caught a hot one. Missing girl. 10-year-old by the name of Grace Budd. Probable kidnapping. Here's the father's work address. Pick him up and get both their statements. Officers from West 20th are mobilizing a search party right now.
What makes you think it's a kidnapping? Has there been a ransom demand?
No, not yet. She left with an older man, a farmer. Took her to some party, was supposed to get her back in the afternoon, they never returned.
Picked Mr. Budd up downtown where he worked as a doorman. When we reached his block, we were swamped with press and onlookers. He reminded me of men I had fought with in the war. Men who thought if they could hide, stay invisible somehow, they wouldn't get hurt. Ironically, those are the ones I remember going first. Mr. Budd would never be invisible again.
I'll go get my wife.
That's my Grace. What paper are you from?
Mother, he's a detective.
Detective William King, Mrs. Budd. From the Missing Persons Bureau. Have you already talked to the papers, ma'am?
Some men were by earlier.
Okay. Is there some place we can sit? I need to ask you both some questions about Frank Howard.
He seemed like such a nice man.
Okay. So you only met him the 2 times, is that right? Is this photograph of Grace recent? I need it for the circulars we'll distribute to the other precincts. And I'll need to take a look at that telegram.
We don't have it.
What do you mean?
We can't find it. The last I recall seeing it was, when Mr. Howard took, Grace to the...
But you didn't give it back to him?
No.
What then?
It's like she said, it was there on the mantle the day Howard showed up, and then it was gone.
Okay. What about the pail? You said Howard brought you some food from his farm?
I have it right here.
You didn't wash it. Good. And you and Howard were the only 2 who handled it?
I told you. Yes, I was the only one. We've told you everything. All this talk. Why aren't you out looking for my daughter? Why don't you go to Mr. Howard's sister's house and ask her what happened?
I'm sorry, Mrs. Budd. I assumed you knew already. You said Howard took Grace to Columbus and 135th, is that correct?
Yeah.
Columbus Avenue ends at 110th. There's no such place as 135th in Columbus. If you receive any correspondence from Howard, do not open it. Do not let your children open it. Bring it to me immediately, or call me and I will pick it up. We'll need his fingerprints off it if we can't get them from this pail.
You're saying he'll send us a ransom note? Why would he ask us for money? He knows we don't have any.
We don't know yet what he wants, Mr. Budd.
Here you go. Jimmy. No, you don't want those. Here, stay. It's the morning. You got a Gazette? Here, right here. Here you go. I'm gonna race you for me. New one? Yeah, in the back.
Well, how do I trace it without a copy of it? You must keep the original handwritten copy.
Indeed. But the copy has the serial number and the point of origin. Without it, I can't tell you where the original is.
Well, where do you keep the originals? I'd like to go through them.
That's impossible. Even if you knew the branch where it originated, there'd be thousands of telegrams to look through. We can't spare people to do that. It could take days, even weeks. I'm sorry.
Let's try something. I'll write down the message. You send it out over the wire with the address, asking if any of the operators remembers sending such a telegram from their branch. If someone does...
That's highly unlikely.
If someone does, I'll worry about finding the original. Okay? Thanks.
Did you get it? Yeah. Is it in here? Here it is.
Oh, Edward, look.
Oh, what are you doing? You're not supposed to open the letters.
This one looked promising.
You can't read anyway. Why'd you have to open them?
Well, read this one to me.
Oh, please. I have to take him to Detective King. You should go through them.
Detective King, missing persons.
Frank, from the telegraph office, we found a man.
What branch? Thank you.
Herr Fisch! Herr Fisch! Are you all right? What has happened, Herr Fisch?
I'm all right, Frau Vaughn. Get away from there. She can see you.
Let me help you. Oh, excuse me, Herr Fisch. Please, you must be quiet. Please.
Everything all right, Frau Vaughn.
In the house. Try to be quiet, please. Please, bitte schön.
Grace. Grace. I baptize me with your tears. Grace, don't leave me.
What do you do with this?
I stick it up my ass.
Disgusting.
Do you know why you're here, Mr. Fish? Do you remember when you started writing these obscene letters? And how are you able to reconcile the things you do with the teachings of your faith?
Hey, Doc. Can you get me a cigar this week?
We may just have our first big break. Guy by the name of Corthell. Seems Corthell showed up at the Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Children. Apparently, Corthell was looking to adopt a 6-year-old girl. There's a sheet.
Quite a laundry list. What did the Buds say?
Mrs. Budd identified Corthell about an hour ago.
Oh, yes. I never forget a face. Oh, that's definitely him.
So far, I've tracked him to the Midwest.
Start in St. Louis. They've had a rash of kidnappings there. Hell, maybe they are related.
Yes, sir.
Now, Gertie, do something for your poor old father, will you? Write a letter to Dr. Gregory at Bellevue Hospital. Tell him I won't write any more letters. Ask him in God's name to place me in your custody. The sooner you do this, the sooner I'm back home with my family. I can't bear this place another minute. Love to you all, from Papa.
Yeah, well, I don't think Corthell's good for the Budd kidnapping. He claims to have the alibi of all alibis.
Prison?
Mm-hmm. All the way out, Seattle.
Besides these letters your father writes, Mrs. DeMarco, can you tell me of any other behavior your father engages in which may seem odd or abnormal in any way?
I don't know what you mean, Doctor.
Well, these letters that your father wrote describe torturous acts he fantasized inflicting, not only on others, but on himself. May I ask, what was he like as a father?
He was a good father. He took care of us. We always had food and shelter. What more can you ask for?
Did he ever touch you or any of your siblings in a sexual way?
Of course not. Doctor, I know my father seems strange. And he writes these letters. He has always written letters as long as I can remember. But that doesn't mean he does any of the things that he talks about in them. I'd like to take my father home now, Doctor, if it's all right.
One more question, Mrs. DeMarco. Who is Grace?
I have no idea.
The nurses have told me that your father sometimes screams the name in his sleep and wakes up terrified or crying. Do you know anything about it?
No.
All right, Mrs. DeMarco. I'm going to release your father into your care. Please make special note of any behavior which may seem out of the ordinary.
Will King. Mrs. Budd? Who? Wait a minute, slow down. Pope? Say it again. Charles Edward Pope. Okay, how'd you find out about this? She did. All right, I'll be right over.
That Bud woman again? I bet you a month's salary she's complaining that she's not in the papers like she used to be.
Not this time. Sounds like a solid lead. Some guy named Pope. She positively ID'd him as Howard.
Like Corthell. Don't hang your hat on that one. King, sometimes you gotta know when to fold them, you know what I mean?
That's true in poker, Maher. Not life. Now let's go. And so we overturned the farmhouse and barn of Charles Edward Pope. A suspect insofar as his vindictive ex-wife convinced Mrs. Budd that her ex-husband had something to do with Grace Budd's disappearance. Well, Maher was right. It soon became obvious to everyone but the press that Pope had nothing to do with our case.
This is Grace's sock, all right. I darned that hole myself.
One more? So you don't think he's good for it?
No. Neither Pope's fingerprints nor his handwriting matches those of Howard's.
But there's nothing to be done until Delia Budd rescinds her identification of Pope.
She won't budge. She swears up and down he's Howard.
Do you think that the judge, the grand jury, did the right thing by throwing out this indictment? What do you think about the president? Give us something. Come on now, we gotta report this.
Good evening, Mr. and Mrs. America and all the ships at sea. Let's go to press. In Manhattan, it looks like the legs of the long chase for the abductor of 10-year-old Grace Budd have been cut short. According to police sources, the investigation into young Grace's kidnapping has been closed. The Missing Persons Bureau has recently been under fire for the mishandling of the investigation. The key suspects, including Edward Albert Corthell and Charles Edward Pope, have been cleared of any wrongdoing. A cold night indeed for Delia and Albert Budd, who have not seen their young Grace in over 4 years.
No! Not after the Corthell and Pope fiascos. 2 years on Corthell alone. You know the beating the department took.
Captain, please. Just a little more time.
You know, when I was still a young man, I worked the homicide division. Did you know that? Tough job, no doubt about it. But when you worked homicide, you always had a body. You knew the what, where, and how. You just had to figure out the who and the why. It's quite a luxury compared to what we do around here.
I can find her. I know it.
That is the hardest part about working missing persons, Will, the not knowing. And the probability is no one is ever going to know what happened to Grace Budd. Not her family, not me, and not you.
Sir. And so the Grace Budd case was closed. I worked new cases, but I wasn't in any of them somehow. Waking, dreaming. Wherever I went, I saw Grace Budd. I felt certain I was abandoning her. Come on.
Wake up. Wake up. Go get a car. Wake up. Keep him back.
It was her. I saw her. She was right there.
Who'd you see? Who'd you see? What are you talking about?
She was right there. And then she was gone.
Perhaps the most sinister and arrogant of the kidnapping rings was that which began to concentrate its attention on St. Louis in late 1929. Grace Budd, a 10-year-old, went away from her home in Greenwich Village on June 3rd, 1928, with a man known as Frank Parker.
It's Howard.
Neither Grace nor Parker was ever heard of again, despite an active...
Christ, why can't they get it right? Don't worry, I'm not crazy. I'm just talking to the radio.
You know, I couldn't have lived with myself if I thought I missed this opportunity to say I told you so.
Captain, thanks for coming. You didn't have to do that.
Boys send their best. Oh, I brought you some of those hand-rolled cigarettes you're so partial to.
Jeez. Prognosis must be worse than I thought.
So, what happened?
The doc's calling it a nervous collapse. He's not sure how long I'll be in here.
Sounds serious.
It sounds like something my mother would have.
Well, you put yourself under tremendous pressure, Will.
I can't get it out of my head. Something you once said to me.
Yeah, what's that?
That I'm a man who can't stick to anything.
Is that what this is about? Will, every day, you show me how wrong I was about you. Here, I thought you might be interested in this. All these years later, there she is. Looks like you aren't the only one who hasn't forgotten her.
You think you could arrange to have my files sent over?
The doctor did inform you, did he not, that you require total bed rest?
Meaning I can't work out of bed?
You know, I've never known a soul like you in my life.
I'm serious.
So am I. Who would have thought a boring desk job would land you here? Now get out of here, will you?
My dear Mrs. Budd,
Well, what's it say, Edward?
on Sunday, June the 3rd, 1928, we had lunch.
What's the matter with you?
Grace sat in my lap and kissed me.
Didn't get a job I applied for.
I made up my mind to eat her.
So it was about Grace. We don't get letters like we used to, do we?
I took her to an old house in Westchester, which I had already picked out. When we got there, I told her to remain outside. I went upstairs and stripped all my clothes off.
I'm going out.
Where are you off to?
What is it, nurse? Edward?
Hi, Detective King. Sorry to bother you and all, but people at Missing Persons wouldn't help me, and your captain said you would be here and that you want to help me.
He did, huh? Well, Edward, I'm afraid to ask.
Today a letter came, but not in the mail, but under the door. It's not like any other letter we got. I couldn't read it to Mama. Anyways, you should read it. That's why I brought it down, to see what you think.
First, I stripped her naked. How she did kick, bite, and scratch. I choked her to death, then cut her in small pieces so I could take my meat to my rooms.
Did this envelope come with a letter?
It did. You think it's him?
And this return address. This right here, was it inked over, corrected, just like this when you received it?
Yeah, just like that.
Good man, Edward. You say you didn't tell your mother about this? Okay, good.
What do we do now?
You go home. I'll be in touch.
Detective King, there's no way he did what he said in the letter, is there? You know, I was the one he was supposed to take with him that day.
Edward, listen to me. You did the right thing bringing me this letter. You found Howard. And now I'm going to get him.
How sweet and tender her little ass. It was roasted in the oven. Took me 9 days to eat her entire body. I did not fuck her, though I could have, had I wished. She died a virgin.
The panicked look on the janitor's face reassured me that I was in the right place. I'm Detective King of Missing Persons.
Oscar Downey.
And you are the chief officer of the association?
I am. What's this about?
I'm interested in this envelope. Does it look familiar to you?
We used this last year. We don't use the stationery anymore.
Who would ordinarily have access to it?
Any one of our employees.
What about the janitor? Would he have access?
Yeah. It's easy to pilfer.
Can your secretary show me the custodial room?
Yeah, I suppose so. Hey, honey.
Huh?
Could you bring Lee in here?
Don't worry. I'll catch up to him later. In the meantime, I need to check the handwriting of everyone having access to the stationery. Can you show me copies of all your employees' job applications?
What, are you kidding me? There's over 400 of them.
Then why don't you bring me 50 or so at a time? Lee? Lee Sikowski?
Yeah.
Detective King from Missing Persons. Look familiar?
No.
Only my poker buddies bluff like you. One more chance, and then you're coming down to the station to give me a handwriting sample.
A handwriting sample? But I didn't do anything, I swear.
All right, let's go.
Oh, okay. Just please don't tell Mr. Downey. I need this job. I did take some about a year ago, but that was just to, write to my mother in Albany. But I haven't had any in a while, not since I moved out of my old place.
What's the address of your old place?
200 East 52nd.
I'll give you a break, kid, and check it out. But I don't want you leaving this building all day. You understand me, don't you, Lee? If you're not here when I get back, I'm sending a squad to track you down. It turned out Lee was nervous for a reason. He'd been pilfering equipment and supplies for years.
Here it is.
Hold it. Hold it right there, please. Albert H. Fish. Who's that?
Someone who stayed here.
Is he still here?
No, he left suddenly.
Did he leave a forwarding address?
No. But his son's in the Civilian Conservation Corps. He sends him his checks. Mr. Fish said he'd be back for the next one.
Mutilated body of Gaffney boy found in garbage bin. Mother of God. I knew he'd return, so I waited. Almost a month I waited for him.
Here we go. I don't know if you like ham and rye, but that's what I got you.
Jesus, Maher, what are you doing here?
Relieving you.
I don't need to be relieved.
No, captain's orders. We don't want you to land back in the hospital.
We were always good for a little salt in the wound.
I'm serious, King. 3 months without you made it stick real good. We need you at the Bureau. It's been 3-4 weeks. You really think this Fish fellow's gonna show?
Yes, I do.
You really don't know when to give up, do you?
No, I don't.
All right, well, you know, if I can't relieve you, least I can do is keep you company. Come on, let's play a little.
Full house.
Me and my bright ideas.
Mr. Fish. Good day, Mr. Fish.
Got any mail for me?
Oh, yes, I have quite a lot for you, quite a lot. Mr. Fish, could you wait a moment while I get it for you? I won't be...
Maher, you may just be my lucky charm. Albert H. Fish?
What do you want?
I'm Detective William King from Missing Persons. This is Detective Maher. Got some questions we'd like to ask you.
What more do you want of me? Is it about those silly letters?
Yes, that's part of it. Let's take a drive and we'll have a little chat.
Can't we do it right here?
We're going to the Missing Persons Bureau. Now let's go.
In Manhattan, Detective William King has gotten the best Christmas and New Year's present he'll ever get. The long-sought alleged slayer of little Grace Budd, Albert Fish, is being moved from Tombs Jail to White Plains, where he will stand trial for first-degree murder. To judge by the charnel house that is Wisteria Cottage, the fiendish fish might have killed an adult woman and her son there just prior to the Bud slaying. The 6.5-year search has yielded shocking ramifications and a still grieving mother.
Like this.
Yeah, that's good. Okay.
You want to do one more?
The prison doc discovered 29 sewing needles embedded in Fish's groin.
Remarkable.
Fish explained that inserting them into his groin cured what he called his sickness.
You believe him? What he said he did to the girl after he killed her?
Everything else in his confession and the letter to Mrs. Budd checks out. Did he drink her blood and eat her flesh? God knows. Having come face to face with him, though, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. I guess you're right. What kind of a mind could make up something like that? Either way, he must be insane. Defense is gonna have a field day.
I can't imagine a jury that would let him get away with insanity.
We don't call people who do that mentally sick. A man who does that is socially perfectly all right.
A man might, for 9 days, eat that human flesh and still not have a psychosis.
A man who does that is socially perfectly all right. As far as his social status is concerned, he is supposed to be normal.
You are very successful people, not insane at all.
Mr. Marco, New York Daily, did you have any comment on your father's arrest for the kidnapping and murder of Grace Budd?
Come along, Gloria.
Your father's out of Hamilton Fish. You know, Mr. Marco? You sure that your father's terrible and it's escaped from human flesh?
Do you have any personal comments about your father? Was he good to you as a child?
I'm sorry, there must be some mistake. I don't know what you're talking about.
Honey? Are you all right?
Must be Detective King. Annie said you would be here at 3. Oh, dear, I'm sorry I'm late. The reporters.
I know. I am sorry, Mrs. DeMarco, but things are going to be rough for a while.
They said,
Why don't we take a moment?
no, I want to know. Do we wait for my sister and brothers, or can we start now?
We can start whenever you like, ma'am. But you should know that, well, this isn't something for the ears of a child.
Gertie, I'll take Gloria around the block.
I'll make some coffee. Is water all right?
Sure.
I remember things he said or did. Before, they were like puzzle pieces scattered everywhere. It didn't make any sense. Now I look back and it's like those puzzle pieces fit together in some strange way. Everyone will think he's a monster. I know that, and I don't blame him. But I'll remember that he kept our family together when it was falling apart, and that he was good to us.
I understand. Before I forget, your father wanted you to have this.
I can't take that. He needs it more than we do.
Just take it, Mrs. DeMarco. You're going to need it.
Hey,
Albert Fish, Jr.
Yeah?
Fish, you got any comment on the rest of your father's
Yeah. He's a skunk.
He's a skunk. You talk to your sister about that?
And have you had any contact with your father since his arrest?
You're a religious man,
No,
Mr. Fish.
I haven't seen him. I want nothing to do with him, and I'm not going to do anything to help him. What'd you say again was the name of the girl?
Grace Budd.
The name anything to you? Yeah, it's the name he used to yell out in his sleep. I never thought about that.
You were telling this jury, Doctor, that
that murdering a victim and cutting that victim into pieces for the purposes of eating the flesh is insane?
Because he had a definite premonition, he had a definite idea that the girl would be raped sometime. And in order to avoid that, he should murder her. When I pointedly questioned Mr. Fish about the murder, he told me, "What I did must have been right, or an angel would have stopped me, just as the angel stopped Abraham in the Bible. If it were wrong, an angel would have stopped me." And so the question is, did he understand the nature and quality of his act? And the answer is definitely no. According to your definition, the legal definition, he is not sane. No.
It was clear no one wanted to understand the aberration that Fish was, or to find out the extent of his killing spree. They just wanted him gone. The judge sentenced Fish to death by electrocution.
My dear Gertie, I have thought much about the way Albert Jr. has treated me. He is no son of mine, nor is he a brother to you. Don't you ever call him your brother again. I want you to cut him out of your life like you would a cancer. Teach your little ones to despise him. If you never do anything else for me, I want you to do this. Your loving Papa.
Does he say he's going to buy me a birthday present?
Your birthday's weeks away.
He's gonna miss my birthday. Everyone says they're gonna fry him. Is that true, Mama? Are they gonna fry Grandpa Fish because he did terrible things?
Lauren, what a rotten thing to say. He is still your grandfather. You stay away from those nasty children. Do you hear me? Do you hear me?
What did he say? Did he ask about me?
Albert, give me that back.
So I'm a cancer. And it's John's fault that he's in this mess. If John hadn't sent that check, I wouldn't be writing from my cell today.
I'm sorry I raised my voice at you. That's right, Grandpa Leonard.
Unbelievable. It's always somebody else's fault. Never his. I sure as hell didn't know what he was doing. Why do you look at me like that? Well, you think I knew? So it's my fault.
She didn't say that. None of us could have known what he was capable of.
We should have.
Habemus Pater Noster, qui es in caelo, sanctificetur nomen, adveniat regnum, fiat
Wait!
nos